Hello, I'm Dr. Heidi, and welcome to week 25 of the 1,000-Word Challenge. So, a few weeks ago, I talked to you about games, and I thought it would be fun to spend a few weeks talking about sports, which are games that you play with your body, athletic games. And since the Women's World Cup in soccer is happening right now, I thought I would start out with soccer. Coming up. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about soccer today, but first we have to talk about the vocabulary. Now, I'm an American, so when I speak, I use American English pronunciation and American English vocabulary, which is generally the same as vocabulary around the world. However, there's this word soccer. So in the American English, soccer is this game. We also have a game called football, which is this game. And everywhere else in the world, this game is called football, and this game is called, I don't know, that weird American game. I think it's kind of interesting to pay attention to these little linguistic differences, because otherwise you can tell people that you play football, and if you're talking to an American, they might have a completely different idea of what sport you play. So there's something else that's kind of interesting about soccer in the United States, and that is that it's really not that popular. In the rest of the world, it's very popular. When you have the big matches like the World Cup or the Women's World Cup, yes, Americans will watch it because we like watching good sports played at a high level. Soccer, interestingly, is played in schools. It's played by children. So, for example, when my sister was 8 years old, she played soccer all the time. She was on a team. It's a very common thing. We even have an expression called soccer mom, which describes a person, usually the mother, whose kids are in soccer. This is a lot of work for the mom because she has to drive them to the practice and drive them to the games and fix their snacks and clean their uniforms, buy their equipment, and so forth. The main idea that I'm trying to tell you is that even these people that love soccer and play it growing up, as adults, they just don't watch soccer on TV. In the United States, we watch football, we watch baseball, we watch basketball. I'll talk about those sports in other videos, but soccer is just in general not that popular in the United States. So it's kind of interesting because the rest of the world is just crazy for it. Let's take a look at this Wikipedia Simple English article. Again, it says football because it's an international website. Let's look at some of the rules of soccer. The main rule with soccer is that you cannot touch the ball with your hands. You can touch it with your feet and you can touch it with your body. You can even hit it with your head, which to me seems like kind of a crazy thing to do, but people do it all the time. And you try to get the ball into the goal. The only exception to the rule about not touching the ball with your hand is the goalkeeper or goalie, the person whose job it is to guard the goal. That person can block the ball with their hands. So two teams are fighting over the ball. You try to pass the ball to your teammate, and the other team will try to get it. You try to get the ball into the opponent's goal, and the other team tries to get the ball into your goal. The team with the most goals at the end of the game wins. So that's soccer. Right now, there's the Women's World Cup soccer. The American team is favored to win. One of the big controversies that's happening around the Women's World Cup is the fact that the women's soccer players get paid a lot less than the men's soccer players. And if you think about it, that is unfair. It's just unfair if you have two teams and both of the teams are playing really hard and are doing a sport that millions of people are watching, and the people that sell the broadcast rights are making a lot of money. It's really not fair that the women players are not getting paid as much as the men players. Some people say, oh, they shouldn't talk about it. They should focus on the game. Well, nobody ever got what they wanted by not talking about it. If you see something that's wrong and you don't say something about it, it will never change. And that's true of everything that I know of. So That was my short demonstration about soccer with a few comments about equal pay thrown in for good measure. In coming weeks, I will tell you about other sports. I will tell you about the American game of football, and I will tell you about our other favorite sports, basketball and baseball. Visit our course website for this week's words. Well, I hope that video inspired you to dust off your soccer ball and maybe go outside and play with your friends. In the meantime, be sure to visit our course website to study the text from this week's video and to look at the definitions for this week's word. Be sure to download Vocab Victor and play every day to improve your vocabulary. And come back next week for 20 more words. Thank you.